Food Explorer. Thanks for joining us again and welcome back to our channel. If you are joining us for the first time here at the Explorer, we go beyond borders to bring you inspiring content and also some very educating information. Hopefully you had some time to review our previous videos. If you haven't done so, we will encourage you to do so. Today we shall be shining our light onto the top coffee producing countries in the world. By the end of this video, you will understand the reason why coffee, a wonderful product, has taken over the world as one of the top beverages as we've never seen before. Also, we will dig into this particular country and as reason why this particular nation exempt themselves or are exclusive with regards to the coffee production and the processes. Without any much delay, we shall just go straight into it. Before we jump into that, let's look at a very clear picture with regards to coffee. Brazil is the world's largest coffee producer. In 2016, Brazil produced a staggering 2.5 million metric tons of coffee beans in 2016. It is not a new development as Brazil has been the highest global producer of coffee beans for over 150 years. Vietnam is the second largest coffee producer nation in the world. It produces just over 1.6 million metric tons in 2016 as well. Also, Ethiopia is the geographical home of Arabica coffee, the most popular bean worldwide. Ethiopia produces large volumes of coffee beans every year with over 384,000 metric tons in 2016 alone. If you are new to our channel, we would encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. With a cafe at every corner in modern cities around the globe, it comes as no surprise that coffee is one of the top commodities worldwide. As the third most consumed beverage in the world after water and tea, coffee beans are in high demand everywhere. The top producing nations each produce millions of kilograms of coffee beans that find their way into the hands of eager consumers. Secondly, only to oil, coffee is the world's second most traded commodities, with about 500,000 cups consumed per year. Coffee beans are not only used for beverages, a cup of coffee, but through decaffeination, also produce caffeine for beverages, cola, pharmaceuticals, and also cosmetics. There are two main commercially grown types of coffees beans that are well known. Arabica, which amounts to for over 70% of the world's coffee, and the Robusta, which is far cheaper and easier to grow. As we've promised, below is the number of we're going to be looking at the top 10 coffee producing countries according to the International Coffee Organization. Number 10, Guatemala, that produced over 204,000 metric tons of coffee. Guatemala produced over 204 metric tons of coffee beans in 2016, and their production numbers have remained fairly consistent over the past few years. Coffee beans are most abundant in Guatemala in years where temperatures have between 16 to 32 degrees, and the altitude is between 500 to 5,000 meters above sea level. Guatemala was Central America's top producer until it was overtaken by Honduras in 2011. Guatemala came into coffee game predominantly to find and export to replace indigo and cocheria, two of their early exports that were rendered useless once chemicals dying invented in the 1800s to say. At this time, the government began a policy of support for the industry by offering trade and tax benefits. In the 1960s, the government further pushed for greater global demand for Guatemala's coffee through establishment of ANATE, the association that's responsible for that, and marketing association, which to this day continue to promote nation coffee production and also driving companies in that particular nation. Number 9, Mexico. Mexico produced just over 234,000 metric tons. In 2016, Mexico produced a particularly extensively 234,000 metric tons of coffee beans. The nation predominantly produces high-quality Arabica beans growing in the coastal regions near the border of Guatemala. Mexico is responsible for the majority of U.S. coffee imports. Also, in the 1990s, there was crisis in medical coffee production as the International Coffee Agreement was dismantled and worldwide coffee prices and export quotas were no longer strictly controlled, leading to an inability for Mexico to compete in the global market. This decline in coffee prices and production led to lost income and also social issues throughout the nation of Mexico. While coffee production declines in the 90s, so to say, and into the 2000s, steady demands from the United States has led to recovery in the Mexico coffee market from all-time low of 1.7 million per bag, we're looking into that, in 2005 to just over 4.2 million in 2014. The next on our list is Uganda. While Uganda may not come to mind when you think of coffee production, it is Central Africa's nation top earning export with over 288,000 metric tons produced as a result of 2016. It has moved past Mexico in 2015 to become the world's 8th largest producer of coffee. The nation grows both Robusta beans, a crop native to the Kibala forest area, as well as the Arabica beans from nearby Ethiopia. Coffee is a vital part of the Ugandan economy, with a large portion of the population working in coffee-related industries. Coffee production was initially a reasonably unsuccessful state-controlled sector. However, after government privatization in 1991, a strong revival of the sector was seen, leading to 510% increase in production since 1989. However, the government does this existence also control the industry heavily, with flow out of the country controlled by the Ugandan Coffee Development Authority, which supervises the produce and the processes involved. Number 7. India. India produces just over 348,000 metric tons of beans in 2016. Not everywhere in India is fit for coffee bean growth. The majority of the growth is done in the hilly tracts of southern part of the country. The beans are grown by small-grown farmers in monsoon rainforest, and also the conditions are conducive in a particular way, and often planted alongside spices such as cardamom and also cinnamon, which gives the coffee spice tasty and aroma. In 2004, India coffee brand Tata won 3 gold medals at the Grand Course de Café competition. As coffee is not nearly a popular tea in India, 80% of the country coffee production is bound for export purposes, with the main buyers being Europe and also Russia. Number 6. Honduras. Honduras produced 348,000 metric tons of coffee in 2016, almost matching its peak crop from 2011 across the total number that the country produced. Honduras has outpassed other countries to become Central America's top coffee producer. However, the coffee production produced in Honduras still suffers from a lack of national branding. While most people recognize Colombia or Ethiopia coffee, beans from Honduras are mainly used in blended and therefore less recognized to the average consumer. However, coffee remains a vital part of the Honduras economy, and the coffee industry continually produces employment and revenue for a large part of the population. If you are new to EduXplorer, we encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Number 5. Ethiopia. Ethiopia produced large volumes of coffee beans every year. With 384,000 metric tons in 2016 data, Ethiopia is the geographical home of Arabica coffee, the most popular beans worldwide. It is no small part of the Ethiopian economy, as it also has over 28% of Ethiopia's yearly export are a result of coffee. And it is estimated that 15 million citizens are employed in the coffee production in Ethiopia. Ethiopia has a very rich coffee culture. For over 1,100 years, beans with a stimulating effect have been noted in the nation by unlucky farmers and shepherds whose herds happened to eat them. Since the domestication of the plant and the beginning of farming the coffee beans, regional variation of the Arabican coffee bean has been developed, each with their own characteristics and name and taste. The Hara, the Limu, the Sidomo, and the Itachi coffee beans are all trademarks varieties of the Arabican beans, which the rights owners are protected by the government of Ethiopia. Number 4. Indonesia. Though they may not be immediately well known as a top producer as Indonesia says, the nation of Indonesia produced over 660,000 metric tons of coffee beans as a result of the 2016 data. Indonesia has opted for a quantity over quality method, and the climate is better suited for the production of lower quality Robusta beans, less value than the Arabica beans that come from nations like Brazil and Colombia. However, despite this, the country has an ideal geographical location for coffee plantation, as it is near the equator, has numerous mountain regions, or mountainous regions so to say, that are well suited for coffee production. Coffee production was introduced to Indonesia by the Dutch colonists. The production continues on after colonization, as Indonesia's climate is well suited for the plant. Coffee plantation currently covers over 1 million hectares of Indonesian territory, with over 90% of the cropland being worked by small-scale producers. Number 2. Colombia. Coffee from Colombia is famous worldwide. However, the climate has recently been playing a negative role in Colombian coffee production. Between 1980s and the 2010, temperatures have slowly risen, and there's precipitation as well, which greatly impacted the production. Both of those factors jeopardize the climate requirements necessary to produce the type of beans favored in Colombia. It was traditionally the second to Brazil for coffee production, but has moved to third due to the rapidly expanding production of Vietnam. Even with the coffee effect of the climate, so to say, it has an output of over 810,000 metric tons of coffee beans as a result of the 2017 data. Colombia remains a key player in the international coffee game. If you are new here, we would encourage you to subscribe and share our videos to your different network. Number 2. Vietnam. While many are familiar with Vietnamese coffee, a signature drink where the coffee is mixed with sweetened condensed milk, Vietnam is the second largest coffee producer nation in the world, which looking at over 165 million metric tons, so to say. If we look into that, these tons are as a result of the great impact that this has had into the Vietnamese economy. While there was an understandable hiatus after the Vietnamese War, which impacted the production, also, coffee remains a huge part of the Vietnamese economy, with the only greater export being rice. Vietnam experienced a rapid expansion in coffee production from only 6,000 tons in 1975 to almost 2 million tons in 2016. This growth has resulted in Vietnam's holding on to the second place on the world's most important coffee producing countries, as we are talking about. The last and the final, the top world producer of coffee is Brazil. Brazil is the world's largest coffee producer. In 2016, Brazil produced a staggering 2,595,000 metric tons of coffee beans. It is not a new development, as Brazil has been the highest global producer of coffee beans for over 150 years. Coffee plantations cover over 227,000 square kilometers of Brazil, with majority located in the Minas Gerais, Sao Paulo, and Paraná, 3 southeastern states where the climates and temperatures are ideal for coffee production. Brazil also distinguishes itself from other coffee producing nations in Brazilian processes coffee using the dry process method, unwashed coffee, so to say, where the coffee cherries are dried in the sun rather than washed in wet process. If you are new here, I want to thank you for watching and also for joining us. If you know of any other country that has been in this particular game of coffee production, we would like to hear from you. If you feel that there is a particular nation that should have mentioned in this particular list of ours, we would also like to hear from you. We will encourage you to subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment in the section, and let us know what the coffee drink means to you. For now, thanks for watching The Explorer. want to wish you a nice day, and we're looking forward to meeting you in our next episode. Bye-bye.